Guru Maharaj ki jai. Preethi Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preethi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashumati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Vrindas Mata, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Vijay. Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your sweet association. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. We have a couple more minutes to start the class. Okay. Hare Krishna, is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Okay, we'll start the recording then. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have Her Grace Preethi Vilasini Mataji to enlighten us on the special topic today. Today is appearance of Sita Devi. So Sitayahscaritam Mahatya we are learning today by Her Grace Preethi Vilasini Mataji. Before that, as usual, we read Srila Prabhupada's quote. Today Srila Prabhupada's quote is very, very wonderful. April 28, we are meant for enjoyment, but we are seeking enjoyment in false place, in an illusion, like the desert and animals, like the desert animals that are running after in water in a mirage and eventually they die of thirst. They cannot relieve their thirst with such illusory water. Similarly, we are trying to manufacture many things to satisfy our thirst for enjoyment. But we are baffled at every turn because material existence is an illusion. Real intelligence means to inquire, where is the reality? Where is the eternal substance behind the illusion? If we can find out, we can experience real enjoyment. Los Angeles, April 28, 1973. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Preethi Vilasini Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your valuable time and association this morning and enlightening us on the special topic. And we are very fortunate to have you on this special day of appearance day of Lord Sita. Mataji, please take over the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for reading Srila Prabhupada's quote for the warm introduction and taking care of all the logistics as always. Thanks to all the devotees for joining us today. Today we will be seeing the glories of Mother Sita. And this was a class that was requested to be done on Bhakti Sangha for a very long time. For the past 3 years, actually, this request has been hovering around. And finally, I think the day selected was today by Mother Sita. So I'm very humbled to get this opportunity to speak a few words about Mother Sita. It's a glorious topic to discuss. And she's a role model for all women, for the women in the past, for the women in the present, and for the women in the future. And we'll soon discover why so. We have such a different impression of Sita in our hearts. We think, okay, Mother Sita, a tortured, timid woman, right? We are going to blast all those misconceptions and see Sita in a completely new vision. So that will be our agenda for today. And I'll start with the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschayata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vancha Kalpatarubhischa Kripasindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. My humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas on the call. Please bless me so that I may be able to speak a few relevant words glorifying Mother Sita from scriptures as relished by the Acharyas in the past. Kujantam Rama Rameti Maduram Maduraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Valmikir Munisimhasya Kavita Vanacharinaha Shrinman Ramakatanatam Konayate Paramgati Veda Vedye Parepumse Dashe Dashratatmaje Veda Pracheta Sadase Sakshat Ramayanatmana Anjananandanam Veeram Janaki Shokanashanam Kabisham Akshahantaram Vande Lanka Bhayankaram Manojavam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayuda Mukyam Sri Rama Dhutam Shirasa Namami Anjaneya Madipatanalanam Kanchanadri Kamaniya Vigraham Parijata Tarumula Vasinam Bhavayami Bhavamanandanam Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam Tatra Krita Mastakhanjalim Bhashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasantakam Jayatashrita Santrasra Dvanta Vidvam Sanodhayaha Prabhavan Sitaya Devya Paramavyoma Bhaskaraha. Hare Krishna. Start with screen share and we'll get started with the glories of Mother Sita. Okay. Here is a question for everyone before we get started. You can raise hands and I can unmute or someone can unmute you. Here is the question to everybody. We can all take turns, maybe 4 or 5 people can voice. If you would describe Mother Sita with a single word, what would that be? Yeah, Vinita Mataji?
Great mother, Mataji, eternal mother. She's our
Mother.
eternal mother.
Is our mother. Induleka Mataji?
Chaste, most chaste.
Chaste. Mother, chastity, then chaste. Sukhakar Prabhu?
Pativrata.
Pativrata, chastity again. Very nice. Pativrata, very nice. Sudevi?
Same Mataji, chastity.
Chastity. Sita Preethi Mataji? Sita Preethi.
A thoughtful and understanding.
Thoughtful and understanding. That's a very nice way of describing Mother Sita. Very nice. So Sita Preethi lovingly knows Sita Devi. Very nice. Padeshwari Mataji.
Powerful.
Powerful. Yes. Very right. Powerful. Yes.
Patience, Sahansilta.
What's it, Mataji?
Patience, Sahansilta.
Patience. Oh yeah, that's so true, right? She waited for so long. So much patience. Very nice. These descriptions are very beautiful and we will go through each of these different characteristics as we pass along.
There is in chat compassionate by Lalitangi Mataji.
Compassionate, yes, so much compassion she had for everybody, including the demonesses in Lanka. Beautiful. So let's go ahead with the entire story of the Ramayana. I'll keep it really fast. We're going to go fast forward Ramayana today, but We'll stop at spots where Mother Sita is glorified, and we'll see if all these characteristics are there while Valmiki is describing her. Second question to everybody before we get started with the story. Who do you think is the main character in Ramayana? Yes, Sukhakar Rao.
Hanuman.
Hanuman, beautiful. Yeah. He's akin to the spiritual master who helps the Jiva attain the Lord. So Hanuman, beautiful, Prabhu. Anyone else?
Urmila.
Urmila. Actually, Urmila is only mentioned in one
She is
single
the
Valmiki that she married Lakshmana.
Sita Devi.
Mataji, Rama and Sita are the main characters.
Rama and Sita. Rama and Sita are the main characters. Very nice. Okay, yes. I mean, these are very obvious answers. Yes, correct. Okay. So, Valmiki, when he describes the greatness of the scripture Ramayana within the Ramayana, he says, Kavyam Ramayanam Kritsnam Sitayam Charitam Mahat Paulasyam Vadami Vityeva Chakara Charita Vrataha. So he gives this epic, the so-called Ramayana that we all are aware of. We all are aware of Ramayana, right? Everybody knows Ramayana. Since childhood, we are all exposed to Ramayana. Now we know Valmiki is the author of Ramayana. Do we know the other names of the scripture? There are two other names. One is Sitayam Charitam Mahat. This is the great sublime legend of Mother Sita. And Paulatsya Vadam. Who is Paulatsya? You can unmute or you can raise hand, whatever works. Any guesses?
Ravana.
Ravana, yes.
son of Pulasya.
Very nice. Ravana is Paulatsya because he's the grandson of Pulatsya Muni. He's a great Brahmana. Brahmana Rakshasa he is. So the theme of Ramayana is the story of Ramachandra, of course, but it is actually the great story of Mother Sita, and it is also the story of how this Paulatsya, this great personality, was killed, Vadham. He was killed by Ramachandra. Now, among these three nomenclatures, though Ramayana is very famous, still the character of Sita is the most important in the Ramayana, because the Ramayana, if you watch the story from beginning to end, or if you hear the story from beginning to end, it's all about Sita Devi. Once Sita is out of the picture, though Ramachandra lived for 11,000 years, there is not much story about him. It is only beginning of Sita to end of Sita, this entire Ramayana, and it's over. In Uttarakanda, there is a mention of what happened after Sita left, after she went into Bhumi, what happened. Nothing much. In a few verses, it is the 11,000 years are summarized in a few verses, and it's over. Ramayana itself is over in a few verses, which means the chief character in the entire Ramayana is Mother Sita. So we have to analyze this personality with all of our heart, and we'll see how Valmiki did it. Through Valmiki's eyes, we are going to see this entire Ramayana. So you all know this very beautiful story written by Valmiki that begins with the desire of Dasharath Maharaj to perform what is called as the Putra Kameshti Yajna. He was performing this Putra Kameshti Yajna, and that time in the sky, all the demigods appeared, including Brahma. All the demigods, they were complaining to Brahma, telling, "Oh Brahma, you have given such great boons to this demon and Rakshasa, Ravana, and he's creating such a havoc. So we should find a way to control him." And at that time, Lord Vishnu, he appears in the sky. Looking at Lord Vishnu, all the devas, they do Sharanagati. They surrender unto the Lord and they request the Lord to help them. At that time, Lord Ramachandra, he promises all of them there that he will descend as the son of Dasharath. So eventually, after the yajna was complete, over a period of time, the three chief wives of Dasharath, they got pregnant. And Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna were born. Now, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, they were growing up in the palace of Dasharath, and quickly 12 years passed by. Not much Balya Leela for Lord Ram. After 12 years passed by, Dasharath Maharaj was thinking in his heart, Valmiki says, he was thinking in his heart, oh, my boy has become 12 years old. It's time I start thinking about his marriage. This was the thought when the boy was 12 years old. At that time, the great sage Vishwamitra Muni, that you see in this picture, arrived in the palace, where Ram, Lakshman, Bharata, Shatrughna, Dasharath Maharaj, and the 350 wives of Dasharath, all of them were present. What did he do? He went and requested from Dasharath Maharaj that he wants Rama to go with him to the forest. At that time, Dasharath was completely shocked. In fact, it is mentioned that he even fainted. He fainted and he said, how can I send my son? He's not even 16 years old. Only after a person crosses 16 can he go and wage wars. Vishwamitra, you're calling my son to come and protect your yajna, protect you from Rakshasas? How is it possible? He's such a young boy. What will he do in the forest? But then Vasishta, who's also the Kula Guru of Dasharath Maharaj, encourages him and tells him Vishwamitra knows the greatness of Ram. So you can very well send Ram to the forest. Now, along with Ram, automatically Lakshman also goes to the forest. So they go and they begin to protect the yajna that was performed by Vishwamitra Muni. So the two demons were killed during that process. One is Tataka and the other one was Subahu. Maricha was actually driven away and he fell in an island that was several yojanas away. And of course, he's very crucial for the epic to continue. So Ramachandra left him so that the Ramayana continues. Now, after this yajna was complete, that was started by Vishwamitra Muni, they proceeded further. They proceeded further to the kingdom of Mithila. In the entrance of the kingdom of Mithila, the deliverance of Ahalya happens. Ramachandra, he is asked to enter an ashrama. There, Ahalya is adrishta, adrishya, meaning she's not being seen. That's how Valmiki describes. Of course, there are different variations of Ramayana that talk about her being a stone and so on. But the original Valmiki Ramayanam states that she was not to be seen. She was not seen, meaning she was like some particle of dust, not at all to be seen. But when Ramachandra enters that ashram, immediately she comes to life and she pays her obeisance to Lord. So Ahalya is delivered and Gautama accepts Ahalya after that. Now the troop, that is the three of them, they continue to move forward and they enter this kingdom or the main city of Mithila, where Janaka Maharaj was ruling. His daughter is Janaki, who is our heroine, Sita, about whom we are going to see today. Now, when they enter that kingdom, Janaka Maharaj, he hears that the great sage Vishwamitra has come to his place. And Janaka's chief priest was the son of Gautama and Ahalya. So he also gets the news and he's so happy to hear that his mother was delivered and his mother and father are reunited. So he goes to the outer precincts of that city to go and welcome Vishwamitra and thank him. So Janaka and his chief priest, both of them, they go and welcome Vishwamitra and they see that these two boys are accompanying Vishwamitra. So looking at these two boys, Janaka, he invites Vishwamitra and he also inquires about the identity of these two boys. Now Vishwamitra tells him about the greatness of Rama and Lakshmana, mentioning them to be the sons of Dasharath and they have come from the Ayodhya kingdom, Kosala kingdom. So their greatness is described. And then Janaka invites him to come inside because he was performing a great yajna called as the Dhanur Yajna at that time. This Janaka Maharaj, he was in possession of the Shiva Dhanush. the Dhanush of Lord Shiva. And he had a particular way of getting his daughter married. So when Vishwamitra asked him to tell the glories of this Shiva Dhanush, he began to describe about how this Shiva Dhanush was received by his ancestors several years ago, and they have been performing puja to this particular Dhanush. Then he tells something very, very important: the birth of his wonderful daughter. So he says, once when I was performing a particular yajna, I was plowing the ritual field so that the entire place can be purified. At that time, in the furrow means the, when you are plowing the land, a ditch is formed by the plow when you try to plow the land. That ditch is called as a furrow. So Janaka Maharaj says, I found a baby girl in that furrow of the plow, the ditch that was formed by the plow. And that girl, because she was seen in that furrow is Sita, okay? The meaning of Sita is furrow. So since she was seen in that furrow, I picked her up and I named her as Sita. So how was she born? She was not born from a mother, correct? She was found in the furrow. So Janaka Maharaj picked up that girl and named her Sita, and he tells Vishwamitra, Rama and Lakshman, who are very keenly listening to the story, hers is a non-uterine birth. She was not born from the uterus of any mother. Ayonija. If you see this verse, you can clearly see this. It is mentioned Ayonija. She just surfaced from the earth, and looking at the child, I fostered that child as my own, my Atmaja, Mamatmaja, my life and soul. She became my life and soul, and I had taken a decision because she's so special. Her birth is so special. Her characteristics are so special. I took a decision that I will give her only to a person who gives a Virya Shulka. Shulka means the money that the groom has to give to the bride's party for the bride's party to give away the girl. Now it is all reverse. What is it today? It's Varadakshina. This was not there earlier. It was Veera Shulka. Okay. The boy's party had to pay a good price to the parents of the girl to win the hand of the girl. So Janaka Maharaj says, if you want my child, that prince has to get this Veera Shulka. Now, what is the Veera Shulka? The Veera Shulka is that boy should prove himself. He should prove himself by lifting the bow. So this is the explanation that was given by Janaka Maharaj to Vishwamitra at the bow. And Janaka Maharaj, he looked at these two boys and he saw that they had great characteristics. He looked at the elder one, who is Rama, and he looked at Vishwamitra and told Vishwamitra, O sage, please show the bow to Rama. Okay? So now the three of them, they enter the palace. Another thing, in the Balakanda of the Valmiki Ramayana, there is no mention of Swayamvara. That is not there here. In other retellings, there is a lot of Swayamvara and a lot of people coming and trying to lift the bow and all that. There is no Swayamvara here. Of course, later, there is a mention by Sita herself to Atri Anasuya, that her father did conduct a Swayamvara and later Ramchandra lifted the bow. She makes this mention. But in the Balakanda, there is no description of kings coming and going and all that. Only Ramchandra is invited to come and take a try at lifting the bow. Now, when they entered, the bow was being asked to brought in. Okay? The instructions were given to the different servants or the people who are helping them to go and bring the bow. Now, this bow was kept in a casket, and that casket had 8 wheels, like a lorry, pretty much. Today, the lorries have 8 wheels. So 8-wheeled casket that was movable was brought by 5,000 men. Though it had wheels, to push that, they needed 5,000 strong men. You can imagine the size of the bow and the size of the casket. Now, Vishwamitra, on listening to this wonderful description given by Janaka Maharaj about the glories of the bow, and now that the bow had come in, Vishwamitra, he looked at Rama and he said, Vatsa Rama Dhanu Pashya. Child Rama, look at the bow. That's all. He didn't say, oh Rama, go, lift the bow, string it, and take an aim. He didn't tell all that. All that he said is, Vatsa Rama, child Rama, Dhanur Pashya. Just see the bow. But the commentators mentioned that the people from Kosala, they know to read body language very well. So the minute Ramachandra was told, Vatsa Rama, Dhanur Pashya, he could understand it is just not seeing the bow. Pick the bow, string it, and see if you can take an aim at the bow, with the bow. So he goes there and he doesn't just look at the bow, he lifts the bow very easily and he strings it like how a baby elephant breaks a sugar cane is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, if you read the verses of Bhagavatam. There are such beautiful commentaries on how this bow was broken. If you look at the size of Lord Ram in this picture, he's actually very small. He's only 12 years old. But the bow was so big. It was so big. So literally, that huge bow, Ram had to take the string. He had to tie it to one end. He had to press it down with one of his foot and then pull it because it was at such a great height. Pull it and then string the top part. But the top part of the bow was thinking that the bottom part of the bow attained the lotus feet of Lord Ram. So let me also attain the lotus feet of Lord Ram, and the bow immediately broke into two. There are other descriptions also that when Lord Ram actually touched the bow melted in ecstasy and shrunk in ecstasy. It became very small and it broke immediately. It became weak and it broke immediately. So this is actually a very appropriate picture of the breaking of the bow. The size of the bow was so big and Lord Ram was only so small. So like that, the bow was broken. And the Veera Shulka, as we mentioned, was done by Ram, right? He broke the bow. Now, Janaka, he decided to offer his precious daughter to Lord Ramachandra. At this point in time, Lord Rama said that his parents had to be informed. And the entire party from Koshala kingdom, all of them, they came and the marriage ceremony began. Now, when the marriage ceremony began, the two parties, they started introducing themselves, their lineage, their dynasty, the greatness of the kings who lived in the past. So there was a grand introduction to both parties. And then the Pani Grahana, that is the main part of the marriage. Marriage is giving that Pani Grahana, that is the girl's hand will be placed in the boy's hand and they walk around fire. This is marriage. In today's time and age, marriage has changed a lot, but the actual marriage is supposed to be Pani Grahana and Saptapadi. That is the marriage. When Janaka was ready to give his precious daughter in marriage, he says this very famous words, Iyam Sita Mamasuta Sahadharma Charitava Pratija Chainam Bhadram Te Panin Granishva Panina. He says, this girl that you're seeing here, see here, don't see elsewhere, come and see here. This girl is Sita. She was not born from any mother. She was found in a furrow. She is, though she was found in a furrow, she is my Atmaja, my child. This Janaka, who's known to not have any ahankara or mamakara, thinking of things to belonging to himself, he never had that attitude. That Janaka, who's known for his high character, he was telling, this is my Sita, because that Sita is so precious. She cannot just be given away like that. She's so precious. But he says, you can take her, your palm into palm. Catch hold of her tightly. Don't leave her. She's so precious. Like how you would take care of something very precious. You wouldn't handle it very loosely, right? Tight. Hold it tight. Hold her tight, he says. And then he tells him, she will walk with you in the path of dharma along with you. All auspiciousness unto you. Bhadram te. She is just not a special girl, a precious girl. But she knows all the dharmas perfectly. She knows how to conduct herself as a perfect wife. She's the most precious thing that you can ever have. So hold her very, very tightly. Then he describes her characteristics, like you all mentioned this very beautiful characteristic, Pativrata. Mahabhaga, very fortunate. She was Pativrata, most chaste, most fortunate. Chaye Vanugatha Sada. She will follow you like how your chaya, your shadow, would follow you. And that's what happened in the life of Sita. Wherever Lord Ramachandra went, she never hesitated. She just followed him like the shadow. So he says, Pativrata, Mahabhaga, Chaye Vanugata, Sada, always. She will always be with. She is chaste. She is most fortunate. She will follow you like your own shadow. So saying that King Janaka poured water into the palms of Rama, which was sanctified by Vedic hymns. When something is given to somebody, or somebody, a child is, not a child, a daughter is given to a boy, that time, with the help of the Panchabhutas, you make a promise. This is the promise that is made in the wedding. So here, generally, the Panchabhuta chosen is water. Even when Bali Maharaj was promising land to Vamanadev, he pours water. He calls Vindhyavali and they pour water. So like that, pouring water, you can see this beautiful picture, how the hand is given in the hand, and then Janaka Maharaj pours water, saying this is a promise, she is for you. So the wedding is over, Saptapadi is done, the wedding is over, and then the demigods, they begin to shower flowers on this very beautiful couple. They were all thinking in their heart, Ram will be the instrumental cause for the death of the Paulatsya. They are all tormented by, for the death of Ravana. As far as the demigods were concerned, they were not worried about anything. They were only worried about their safety. So their focus was, when will this Ravana get vanquished? So they were thinking, now this Ram will be the instrumental cause. He'll be the one who's going to shoot the arrows. But the efficient cause for the destruction of Ravana will be this wonderful lady, Mother Sita, wonderful girl, Mother Sita. And they got married. They go back to the kingdom of Ayodhya. Of course, there is this incident of Parshuram who comes in between, and that is taken care of. They go back and they live together for 12 more years. So Ram was 24, Sita was 18 by this time. 12 more years, they lived together like friends playing together, Valmiki says. How was their relationship? Just like how friends sit together.
Mataji, there's
Yeah,
some distance.
1 second, Mataji. Okay. One second, I'm sorry. So they went back to Ayodhya and they continued to live happy. Then what happened was, you all know this. Okay. Okay. Sorry for that disturbance in between. I'm so sorry. They go back to the kingdom and they begin to live together. And after that, the next phase of the Ramayana begins, which is the Ayodhya Khan. So Dasharath decides to coronate Lord Ramachandra as the prince of the kingdom. And at that time, Kaikeyi, she asked for the boons. She had 2 boons in mind. And she asks for those boons that Ram should be sent to the forest and her son Bharata should be coronated. So Ramchandra, when he's called and the information is given, is given to him, at that time, Lord Ramchandra, he immediately accepts it. There is absolutely no hesitation on the part of Lord Ram. The reaction that Lord Ram had when he was told that the kingdom is for him, the same reaction he has when he's being told that you have to go to the forest. So Ramachandra, he just accepts whatever it is, but he asks permission that he wants to let his mother Kausalya and his wife Sita know about his banishment to the forest. So first he goes and meets Mother Kausalya, and Mother Kausalya laments. And after meeting Mother Kausalya, he, with a lowered head, because his mother was so heartbroken, he is also heartbroken looking at the reaction of his mother. With a lowered head, he enters Mother Sita's palace with a lowered head. So when he's entering Mother Sita's palace with a lowered head, Sita immediately sprang up from her seat. She knew very well the heart of her husband. She could understand that something is wrong. Today, my husband must have been coronated as the prince. He was ready for the coronation ceremony. But from his body language, I feel something is wrong. So she could understand what was running in the heart of her husband. So she just got up with a perturbed mind, and she looks at Ram and she asks Ram, "Oh, my dear husband, is everything okay? You look very different today." And then Ramachandra, he begins to describe what really happened. What happened? And he tells Sita to stay back. He tells that I am going to the forest. I have been banished, but you cannot come with me. You're a great princess. You must stay back. Okay? Now, Sita, she began to insist. She said, "No, I'm not staying in this palace without you. I will definitely come with you wherever." And out of love, but in an angry mood. Okay, she was very angry. She's not the timid woman that we all know of. She was extremely angry to instigate, to make her point very clear. Though she is very respectful, out of the love and affection she had for Lord Ram, as if very angry, biting her lips and reddish anger in her eyes, she told Ram, "What are you talking? The wife shares the fortune of her husband. I will come to the forest. There is no question of me staying back." It is mentioned in scriptures that the wife gets 50% profit of whatever her husband does, whatever pious activity or devotional activity her husband is doing, the wife gets 50% share of that. Okay, there is no question. And she tells, so whatever fortune is there, I'm getting 50%. So whatever suffering is there, why can't I share 50% of that? Shastra also says that the wife doesn't have to suffer 50% of the karma of the husband. If he's doing sinful activity, she doesn't have to take 50% share. It is not there. But if the wife does something wrong, this husband suffers. It's like that. It's the other way around. Always the wife is at a benefit level. Always the wife gets benefit. But here Sita says, no, whatever bhagya you have, if I'm going to share it, whatever suffering you have, even that also, it is my duty to share it. And she says to a woman, her father or her son or her mother or any female companion, nobody is of any recourse. Husband alone is the best recourse for a woman in this world and after death. So wherever you go, my dear husband, it is my sole right to actually follow you where you go. And then she tells this beautiful verse. You all know this. You have heard it very recently also. Agradate gamishyami, she says. She tells Lord Ramachandra, when you go to the forest, I will walk in front of you, before you, because your lotus feet are so soft. They are so soft. They cannot tolerate the thorns in the forest. The thorns in the forest would be pricking your leg. I will make sure that I stamp on those thorns and make the level the ground leveled so that you can walk on the path without any obstruction. She says, I will take the complete charge of your safety. I will take very good care of you. I will walk in front of you. I will trample down all the thorns and grass and all the pointed stalks so that your lotus feet are not like the mood of the gopis who are ready to do anything because the lotus feet of the Lord, they didn't want the lotus feet of the Lord to be affected at any cost. Then Ramachandra, he begins to talk about different inconveniences in the forest. The forest is not a safe place. The forest is not a safe place. There are animals, there are tigers. It's going to be very difficult weather conditions. There'll be demons. There'll be all this. And then Sita says, why are you talking about all this? I already knew this is what my destiny was. When I was young, some astrologers had come home and they told my father that I was destined to live in the forest for a few years. So that is just coming true. I will come with you wherever you go. And then she tells with a lot of anger when Ramachandra says, no, it's not going to be easy for you. I highly recommend that you stay back. At that time, she didn't know how to convince her husband. So out of anger, with reddish lips, she says these following words. She says, Kim tva amanyata vaideha pita me mitila adipaha Rama jamattaram prapya striyam purusha vigraha. She says this statement to her husband. She says, won't my father, the king of Mithila, belonging to the country of Videha, think himself of having gotten a son-in-law, you Rama, as a woman having just the external appearance of a man? So she tells Rama, are you a woman? Why are you getting so scared to take me? Won't your shoulders be enough protection for me in the forest? Why you think you cannot protect me? That is the reason you're trying to avoid taking me. He tells Jamataram prapya striyam purusha vigraha. Jamataram means son-in-law. Sometimes it is mentioned that the son-in-law is like one of the navagrahas causing trouble to the father-in-law. So she says, you Jamatara, you son-in-law, my father-in-law, my father will think that this son-in-law is nothing but a woman. That's all. He's just so-called man. So she tells this to Ram. And then she looks at Ram with anger in the eyes, love and anger together. And she says, so what if there are thorns? That will be like cotton for me. So what if there is dust in the forest? That is like sandal for me. These fruits and tubers, simple food, they are like nectar for me. And this grass will be like carpet for me. So she tells all this and she says that I will come to the forest with you. So hearing all this, Lord Ram says, he's actually quite flabbergasted and he says, okay, it appears that you have made up your mind, but I just wanted to make sure that you're 100% sure you want to come to the forest. That's why I told you not to come. But if you're so adamant, please come. So she decides to go along with Lakshmana, who also falls at the feet of Sita and Ram and requests that he should also accompany. And he also is taken to the forest. Then they enter the forest. And as they are entering the forest, the very first incident that is mentioned is the killing of this demon by the name Viradha. You see this picture? There is this demon, Viradha. And what happens with Viradha is that in his past birth, he was Tumburu, one of the Gandharvas, and he was cursed by Kuvera to take a demoniac form. Skanda Purana describes why exactly Viradha picked up Sita. He was the first one to kidnap Sita even before Ravana. Even before Ravana touched Sita or kidnapped her, it was Viradha who actually kidnapped Sita. However, Skanda Purana says, Viradha, when he picked up Sita and he ran away into the forest, and Ram and Lakshman were so shocked, they started chasing this demon because he had taken away Sita. Viradha was thinking in his mind, it seems. Skanda Purana mentions, on seeing Sita, Viradha thought, oh, I can recognize her. She's the supreme goddess of fortune. So if I want to be relieved from this demoniac body, if I want liberation, only if I go and catch hold of her feet, if I take her and request her, it is possible for me to do so. So that is the reason, in that affection, it is not that he very forcibly, of course, it is described externally, he just forcibly took away Sita. But however, the internal reason for Virada to first pick up Sita during the kidnap was he was under the mood that let the supreme goddess of fortune actually protect me and be the cause of my liberation. So like this, when Rama and Lakshman were chasing Virada at that time, though he has Sita, Sita is very tiny when compared to him. Though he has Sita in his hands, he decides to carefully leave her down when Ram and Lakshman begin chasing. Because he knows very well, Ram and Lakshman will not kill him in the presence of Sita. In the presence of Sita, throughout the Ramayana, no demon was killed. Now, this is a cool fact. So, Viradha knows that if Sita Devi, the mother, is with me, the goddess of fortune is with me, they are not going to kill me. Unless I am killed, I will not be relieved of this body, this demoniac body. So thinking like that, he leaves Sita down carefully, and then Rama and Lakshmana chase him, and they go to a very distant place, and there first his hands are chopped off, and then he is buried. So you all know the story, you've heard it recently. So before being buried, that is when he gives them the idea, oh, now I understood who you are Rama, you're Lakshmana, so you can bury me and you can proceed further. So this is the role of Mother Sita. No demon was punished, or nobody can be punished in the presence of the goddess of fortune. Nobody, because she is the mother and she loves all the living entities. So this was a very brilliant play by Virada, understanding the most merciful nature of Mother Sita, like many of you mentioned. And there is a beautiful Phalashruti for this section by Skanda Purana that says, those that always listen or listen this episode of Virada, all their sins would be absolved. This is mentioned by Skanda Purana. Days went by in the forest, and there was this famous entry of Shurpanaka into the legend. Shurpanaka comes into the legend. And Karadoshana and all the 14,000 Rakshasas, they all attacked Lord Ram. And Ekasya hi Rama, there was only one Rama who attacked the 14,000 demons. At a shot, he was like a blazing ball of fire. He was shooting arrows at all the 14,000. And within the Muhurta, he actually destroyed all these 14,000 demons. Now, at that time, though Rama was fighting single-handedly, before he began the fight, he told Lakshman and Sita to go up to the mountain cave, sit in that mountain cave and watch. He told them not to come out. Though Lakshmana wanted to help Lord Ram, Ramchandra said, no, you're not nothing doing. You and Sita are going to go on top of that mountain, into that mountain cave, and you're going to sit and watch how I destroy all these demons. The minute the demons were destroyed, Ramchandra, he turns around and he shows himself to Sita, saying, yes, it's over, I'm victorious. And Sita comes running down from that little hill. She just comes running in with so much enthusiasm. And she goes and she embraces Lord Ram with a lot of love. This is the verse that is spoken in Ramayana. Tam drishtva shakruhantaram maharshinam sukamahvayam babuva hrishta vaidehi bhartaram parishasvaje. Tam drishtva, seeing him, seeing whom? Seeing the person who eliminated 14,000 demons in a second, or rather in a muhurta. Seeing him who was so capable, who had fought with all these 14,000 demons. Seeing him whom she said earlier, Striyam Purusha Vigraham. So it was time for Ram to prove who he was. Seeing him, she said, and Maharshinam Sukha Ahvayam. He had given happiness to all the Maharishis that he had promised as soon as he entered the forest. When he entered the forest, what did he do? He promised the Maharishis. He told them that I will give you protection. Seeing that he had kept up his word by promising all the Maharishis, Bhabuva Hrishta, she was so happy, so much in ecstasy. She was so excited that she went and Vaidehi Bhartaram Parishastvaje. Parishastvaje means to embrace and very tightly. So she goes and she embraces him very tightly. Whom does she embrace? Her Bharta. Who is the Bharta? Bharta means husband. But he is Loka Bharta. He is the husband of all living entities in this universe. He is concerned with the protection of all living entities. And Mother Sita is even more happy now that all her children, all these Maharishis are protected. So as a loving mother, like you all mentioned, qualities of Mother Sita, like a loving mother who takes care of all the living entities and seeing them protected by her Lord, who's actually the Lord of everybody, she became very happy and she went and embraced him tightly. Not just embraced him, that's all. No, tightly. Why? Because Sita Devi's body, it is mentioned that Lakshmi's body is the abode of all the herbs in the universe. If all the herbs in the universe need one abode, that is the transcendental body of Mother Lakshmi. Now Sita, who is none other than Mother Lakshmi, her body has all the medicine in it. So when she embraces Ram, immediately Ramachandra feels relief from all the distress, Valmiki says. Immediately he felt relief from all distress and he felt absolutely normal. Imagine he was fighting with 14,000 demons single-handedly in one moment. So this is the miraculous effect of Mother Sita. And then, of course, Shurpanaka, she informs, Akampana escapes. He's one of the demons among the 14,000 who runs away. And he goes and gives the information to Ravana. Then Shurpanaka also entices Ravana, telling this, Sita is very beautiful. She is meant only for you. Then comes the episode of Sita's abduction by Ravana. The way Valmiki describes Sita's abduction is very interesting. And so many commentators have commented on this particular verse of Sita's abduction. The verse is, Abhigamya sudushta atma rakshasa kamohita jagraha ravana sitam buddha ke rohinim iva. This is the verse that is mentioned by Valmiki. He says, this Dushtatma Ravana, he comes because he's Kama Mohita. He's tormented by lust. And how does he come? He comes in the garb of a sannyasi. Jagraha Ravana Sita. He comes and he kidnaps Sita. He takes away Sita, just like how Buddha takes away Rohini. Now, what is the relationship? Or Buddha catches Rohini. You can't say take away at this point. Catches, because he's going to catch her. So Buddha catches hold of Rohini. What is the relationship between Buddha and Rohini? Now, we should all try to understand this. Who is Buddha? Anybody knows Buddha? Who's Buddha?
Son of Moon.
Son of Moon. Who is? What's his name?
The planet.
Moon planet. Chandra's son.
Planet
Chandra's son.
Mercury.
Mercury, yes. So he is Mercury. Buddha is Mercury, right? Buddha is catching hold of Rohini. What is the relationship between Buddha and Rohini? Who's Rohini?
Rohini is
Nakshatra.
in charge of Moon. Moon is in charge of
Nakshatra, Moon Nakshatra.
Nakshatra.
So the nakshatras are all the wives of Moon, correct?
Moon.
So Rohini is the wife of Moon. Now the child of Moon, another child of Moon, is catching hold of the mother, technically. Okay, so this is how Valmiki describes this. And now come all our commentators and they're all telling how actually this Ravana is none other than Jaya Vijaya, right? They were cursed. So Jaya Vijaya, they are children of Mother Sita in one sense, in the spiritual world. So Skanda Purana mentions something very beautiful. It says actually this Ravana, in the guise of a sannyasi, he generally Ravana had evil intentions. So it would have been very difficult for Ravana to capture her like that. So Skanda Purana describes Chaya grahitvam api asi sarva vidya visharade. So he took Sita by the shadow of her hair and the shadow of her thighs. That's how he captured, because these demons, they have Maya Shakti, they have different mystic powers. So how did he actually catch Sita? Through her shadow. And there's a commentator by the name Maheshwara Tirtha in the Madhva Sampradaya who writes that actually it was not possible for him to take her away in a lusty manner like that. Like how we see Ravana was lusting after Sita. But it was not possible to catch hold of Lakshmi or catch hold of Sita in that way. So it was possible only if he picked up the shadow of Mother Sita. There is another commentary, Ramatilaka, one of the original first commentaries on Srimad Valmiki Ramayana, that says this verse that she was caught by the hair and the thighs can actually mean Murudadeshu instead of Murdheshu. That means the hands that wielded arrows, Ravana's hands that wielded arrows, caught hold of Sita by her leg. So when you go to the leg of a person, you're going with deep respect. Instead of uru, that actually means thighs, we should understand it to be feet. Ravana caught hold of her feet, just like how Buddha, the planet Mercury, catches hold of the feet of his mother Rohini at times. So like that, because you cannot just take away Sita again and again. Sita is transcendental, and it is... many people ask this question, how is it that Ravana could even touch her? So here are the answers by all our commentators. They say, no. It was like a mother catching hold of feet. Very similar to the Virada episode, where again, the Skanda Purana explains that Virada, unless he had that mood of this is my mother, he was not able to pick up Sita. And Sita gives protection to all her children. So to get that protection, you should have the right. So at that moment, this is what happened, commentators. Now, there is a very beautiful description in Adhyatma Ramayana, which is a part of Brahmanda Purana, that says, no, he picked up Sita, not by shadow or something like that, but with a cloud of earth, like she was fallen down, like she was like, what's happening here? When he changed us from a sannyasi to the original form of Ravana, she just fell down in shock. And with a cloud of earth, he just dug a little bit of earth, and with a touch of Bhumi Sparsha, he carried her like that, with one hand near the hair and the other hand near the thighs. The other explanation, again given by Acharyas through the Kurma Purana, is that this was Maya Sita, because the original Sita was still inside the ashram. She was hidden in the ashram when Rama actually went to procure the deer Maricha, who had come in the form of a deer. And it was Vedavati who wanted to take revenge, who went. And beyond all this, others say, it's okay, so what? What is wrong if Ravana touches Sita, as if Sita's purity is going to go away because of it? So you can take any of these answers if anyone has a question about Sita's abduction. So all these are okay. But there is a Phalashruti for the section, kidnapping of Sita, which is inauspicious in one sense. But the Phalashruti is nothing inauspicious can happen to anyone who hears this entire section. So that is the glory of Mother Sita. Nothing inauspicious about her, absolutely nothing. Even if she is suffering, that will not bestow inauspiciousness to her children. That is the glory of Mother Sita. Sita, she is described as the embodiment of all the Vedas, because right after Ravana took her away, Jatayu came and stopped Ravana and the Pushpak. He said, no, you can't take away Mother Sita. I'm going to give you a fight. Right? There is a big fight between Jatayu, who is a good friend of Dasharatha, who is the father-in-law of Sita, and Ravana. And Jatayu, who was so old, was trying to stop Ravana. He says, it will be incapable of you to forcibly abduct Vaidehi when I keep an eye on her, as with the defilement of definitive Vedic scriptures by different logicians and materialists and atheists. All of them, they have all this logic and they are destroying the Vedas. Like that, you're attempting to destroy or just take away the Sita forcibly, who's an embodiment of the Vedas. Of course, Jatayu, his wing is cut off, and he falls down on earth, and Sita is forcibly taken away. And she's taken to Lanka. Then Ramachandra, he realizes that Sita is missing in the ashram. Rama and Lakshman, they go in search of Sita, and they come near Pampa Sarovar, where they are a sakshi for the liberation of Shabari. And then they go and befriend Sugriva. When they befriend Sugriva, at that time also, Sugriva says the same thing. He says, I will be there. I will be there with you, Ram. I will go and fetch her very soon, just like the retrieval of the Vedas. From time to time, the Vedas, they get destroyed, or and I won't say destroyed, sorry. They just go missing, or they get contaminated. So at that time, the Lord comes to retrieve the scriptures. So anyone remembers any incarnation where the Lord came to retrieve scriptures?
Hayagreva.
Hayagreva, very nice.
Parashurama.
Yeah, he punished the Kshatriyas who were ill-treating people, yes. One
Fish incarnation, fish.
Matsya.
Fish incarnation.
Yeah, very nice. So Matsya and Hayagreva, both of them, because the Vedas were affected. So this Sita, she is actually the very embodiment of all the scriptures. And it was Lord Ramachandra's duty, like he incarnates from time to time to protect the Vedas. It was his immediate duty to go and fetch the Vedas and procure it very safely. So like this, Sugriva says, I will help you to fetch her very soon, just like how the Vedic scriptures have to be retrieved very soon. We cannot leave it like that for too long. So Sita is kept in Ashokavan, and then the Vanaras are sent in different directions. Hanuman is a part of the southern army along with Angada and Jambavan. Hanuman crosses the ocean, and he is desperately searching for Sita because Sampati gave some guidelines that Sita is indeed in Lanka, right? So Hanuman is now in Lanka and he's searching out for Sita. He tries various ways. He goes to different places. He's trying hard to find Sita, but he is not able to find Sita at all. He's not able to find Sita at all. It's becoming very difficult for him. And he was almost ready to give up his life. He was thinking of suicide. He was thinking, what's the use of me living? He was thinking like that. He was very desperate to find Sita. He was thinking, what will happen? What will happen if I go and tell Sugriva that I didn't find Sita? Everybody will, the Vanaras will die. Lord Ramachandra will give up his life. So he was thinking so hard. He was so dejected. But at that time, he began to offer prayers. See, Sita will not reveal herself so easily until we surrender and we request her. Until we pray to see, nobody can find Sita. Hanuman was trying to find Sita. But when he offered a prayer to Sita, Sita, please reveal yourself to me. That is when he went to Ashokavan and he saw Sita under the Simshupa tree. And Valmiki says this, Namo astu Ramaya sa Lakshmanaya Daivyai chatasyai janakatmajayai. So he says, I will offer a prayer. He consoles himself and he begins to pray. Sometimes when we are very, very dejected, final resort, we start praying. Nothing is in my hands now. Lord, help me. So first he offered prayers to whom? Naturally, Rama Lakshmana. First he does that because he's Rama Bhakta. He offered prayers to Rama Lakshmana. Nothing happened. Then he offered prayers to all the Devas. His father, Vayu. All the Devas he offered. Then also nothing happened. Finally, he said, Tasyai Janakatmajayai. I offer my prayers to Janakatmaja. The minute he offered prayers, it just struck him. Oh, she must be in this grove because Sampati said that she's amidst many trees. So there is a high possibility that she will be in this grove. He enters the grove, he climbs up on a tree, and there he sees Sita sitting under the Simshupa tree. How did he see Sita? Thereafter, Hanuman saw Sita wearing a soiled garment, surrounded by Rakshasa women, emaciated due to fasting, looking miserable, sighing again and again, like the pure crescent moon at the beginning of a fortnight. Even now, she's described as a moon, but she was described as a crescent moon because she was like fire covered by smoke. Her shine was there. It was like the moon. Her shine was there, but it was only like a crescent moon because her face, everything had withered so much. Okay, then Hanuman, he sees the condition of Sita. He can understand, looking at the beauty of Sita and the mood of Sita. Hmm. He's thinking, how is this Ram even able to survive? I'm surprised that he's not died from grief. He's thinking, such a wonderful lady she is. He is indeed the best match for Ram. I'm so surprised that Ram has not died yet from grief looking at her. And he thinks they are the perfect match. They have the best matching character. Her character matches his character. Her age matches his age. Her conduct matches his conduct. In every single way, they are the best made for each other. And he thinks about her and he sees Sita who's sobbing, who's shivering and sitting there, and Ravana arrives there. Ravana, that day morning, he dressed up and he goes to see Sita out of the lust that is burning in his heart. And when he comes inside that forest, you should see Hanuman was surprised to see how Sita was talking to Ravana. Sita takes a blade of grass and she places in front of Ravana and she begins to talk. That blade of grass serves as a screen between that another man like Ravana and her. And she's also indicating you're only worth the blade of grass. You're not even worth the blade of grass. So she just picks a blade of grass, she keeps it in front of him and she begins. You see so many beautiful qualities Sita has, and Hanuman was witnessing all this, her bodily characteristics, the way she talks to people, how she's lamenting in separation from Sita. Finally, Sita makes a beautiful statement. She says, Shakya lobhayetum naham aishwaryam dhanenava ananya ragavenaham bhaskarena prabhayata. I am like the sunshine of the sun. Can you separate sun from sunshine? Similarly, that Raghava is the sun and I am the sunshine. So there is no question of me getting allured by all your presentations. You're telling you'll give wealth, you'll give me the status of queen. Ravana was enticing her with all this. So she tells Ravana, nothing can change my mind. If Ram is the sun, if Raghava is the sun, I am the sunshine. I belong only to Ram. Hearing all this, Hanuman, he could immediately understand that this is indeed Sita Devi, and he waits for the opportune moment to actually present himself in front of Sita. I think I have only half an hour and we are already out of time, but I'll go really fast. Okay, so now the demonesses, Ravana, when he leaves, he sees that Sita is not budging. He leaves. He tells the demonesses, keep torturing her. Make her listen to me. She has to be mine. So do anything that takes. So the Rakshasis, they all begin threatening Sita that they will eat her. Rakshasas, they eat human flesh, right? So they say, if you don't agree to Ravana, and even Ravana gives a time limit. He says, within a month, if you don't listen to me, I will cook you for breakfast and I'll eat you up. He says that. So the Rakshasis also, they start tormenting Sita, saying, we are going to eat you up if you don't listen to Ravana's desires, if you don't pay heed to his request. But at that time, there was one particular demoness by the name Trijata. Trijata had a dream. She had a dream where she was seeing Sita Devi dressed in beautiful white garments, and she was ascending in a vimana along with Lord Ramachandra. And she saw Ravana, whose body was smeared with black oil, and he was wearing black and red clothes, and he was descending, he was going down to hell. So looking at this dream, Trijata immediately, she woke up and she stopped all the demonesses who were threatening Sita and told them, hey, what are you trying to do? I just had a dream now. And according to this dream, it appears that Sita is going to be rejoined with Ram and they are going to be victorious in the battle. So it's not a good idea to torture Sita like this. Immediately surrender unto Sita. She says, Pranipata Prasannahi Maitili Janakatmaja. Trijata says, all you demons surrender unto Sita, but none of the demons surrender. What they do, they say, no, our boss is Ravana. We will only listen to Ravana. We are not going to surrender to Sita just because you had a dream. Later, after the war was won by Lord Ramachandra, when Hanuman comes to give the news to Sita Devi, that time Hanuman offers, he makes a cool offer. He says, Sita Devi, I saw that these demonesses, they were torturing you all the time. So give me your thumbs up and I will destroy all these demonesses. I will kill everybody. For all, they have to pay for the mistakes that they have done. So at that time, Sita says, no, they are only the servants. They are only the maid servants who are prodded by their master. Why do you have to punish maid servants? They are ones who are carrying orders. That's all. They don't have any big intelligence of their own. Sita was ready to give Sharanam, to give her shelter to even those who did not surrender to her. Ram gives shelter to those who go and surrender to Ram. He says, Sakradeva prapannaya tavasmiti achate abhayam sarvada tasmai tadadi etam vratam mama. He says, if you come and surrender, then I will give you protection. Sita is telling, no, they didn't surrender. It's okay. Even then I will give them protection. Now who is greater? Of course, it is Mother Sita. Always the mother triumphs. So she says, Dasinam Ravanasyaham Maharshyamiha Durbala. They're Durbala. They're just Dasis. Don't tell them anything. It's okay. I will give them also protection. Then Hanuman descends. He gives the ring of Ram and he introduces himself and he tells about Ram, that Ram is waiting for you. And this conversation between Sita and Hanuman happens. And Sita is very happy. And then she gives her Chudamani, the jewel on the forehead. She gives it as a proof that Hanuman has seen Sita. And then Hanuman says, this is not enough. Tell me something else that only you and Rama may know. So that is when Sita in Sundarakanda, she actually tells the story of Kakasur, or the one who came as a crow, the demon who came as a crow. He is identified as Indra's son. His exact name we don't know. According to some versions, it is Jayanta. According to some versions, they don't know. Okay, so we'll call him the crow demon for the time being. Now, this son of Indra, who had come in the form of a crow, came and started pecking Mother Sita on her chest, according to Valmiki. So on the chest, and Rama, he saw that hot drops of blood was falling on his body, and immediately he picks a grass from the ground and he makes it into a Brahmastra by chanting mantras. It's called Aishika. He chants mantras and he sends that weapon. That weapon chases this crow in all directions, in all the three worlds. And finally, when he comes and surrenders at the lotus feet of Rama, Rama actually forgives the crow. But however, according to the Padma Purana, the crow, when he came back, he stood on Ram's feet instead of bowing his head down at Ram's feet. At that time, it was Mother Sita's causeless mercy that nudged the crow, pushed the crow, so that the crow's head would fall at the feet of Ram and Ram would be ready to forgive. Even though he was still arrogant, that crow was still arrogant and he was not ready to completely bow down by Sita's nudging. She's like, how much ever I tell you, you don't understand. Sometimes we are like that. Sometimes the kids keep doing mistakes, but the mother comes and tells, don't behave like this in front of your father. Your father is not going to grant all your wishes. You have to behave nicely. Then your father will look at you. Like that, Mother Sita, she prods that crow in such a way that the crow turns around and the crow places the head at the feet of Sita. So like that, even the Sharanagati that was performed by the crow was only by the mercy of Mother Sita. Hanuman comes and then he begins to destroy Ashokavan and then the different areas, all the sporting areas of the demons. And then the demonesses, they come and tell, hey, we saw one monkey talk to you. Do you know that monkey already? He's destroying everything. There is some connection between you and that monkey. The demonesses come and tell Sita. At that time, Sita was very intelligent also. It's not that she's so timid that she would say, yeah, I know that Vanara, he's trying to help me. She was not like that. She was very smart. When the demonesses came and reported about Hanuman destroying everything, at that time, Sita says, what monkey? I don't know any monkey. You are the one who knows what these demons can do. Sometimes demons take different forms. He must be one of you. Only a snake can identify a snake. Why are you coming and asking me all this? So she feigns ignorance according to situation. So sometimes we should know, we should learn from Mother Sita how to react when and what circumstance. So she reacts like that. Innocently, she says, I don't know anything about that Vanara. I don't even know who he is, from where he came. Then, of course, Hanuman, he gets an audience with Ravana and he tells that he's Ramaduta. And Ravana, he decides to punish him by lighting fire on the tail of Hanuman. And Hanuman goes around spreading the fire to all the palaces in Lanka and he destroys Lanka. At that time, the demonesses, they come running and they tell Sita, you know what? We know very well you're trying to hide something. That monkey, he actually spoke to you. But you know what's happened now? That monkey's tail is on fire. They all went and told Sita. Now, Sita, when she heard this, she felt very tormented in her heart. She was thinking, he came to help me, but now he's suffering. At that time, she offers a prayer to Agnidev. She says, Yadimam Vritta Sampannam Tat Samagam Lalasam Sa Vijanati Dharmatma Shito Bhava Hanumataha. Shito Bhava Hanumataha. Very famous phrase. She says, if at all I've been a pativrata, if at all I have followed all the codes of dharma properly, then please be cool to Hanuman. At that time, immediately, Hanuman was thinking there was an AC in his tail. He was feeling very cool. He was thinking, oh, how is this Vayudev cooperating so nicely? Everybody was cooperating so nicely. And he feels very cold, though he has fire on his tail. That was also possible only because of the mercy of Sita. Now, after he destroyed the entire land of Lanka, he was thinking, what did I do? Sometimes monkeys, like our mind is like a monkey. We keep acting without thinking, right? But Hanuman also, for 1 second, he thought, what did I do? What did I do? I went around lighting fire to this entire city. Did Sita also get destroyed in this fire? Because Sita is also inside the city only. She is also there within Lanka. So he was thinking, oh, what did I do? Did I do a mistake? But then he convinces himself, thinking, actually, nothing can happen to that auspicious lady. She is protected by her own effulgence. How can fire destroy fire? Sita is fire. She is akin to fire. How can fire destroy itself? So nothing would have happened to Sita. So this is the glory of Mother Sita. She was continuously protected. Even Agni Pariksha, nothing can happen to Sita. She herself is fire in her character, in her chastity, in her mercy, in every single quality she has. So nothing can happen to her. And when I was mentioning that Hanuman felt that it was very cool, right? It was very cool. It was like an AC that was fitted to his tail when his tail was burning. At that time, he also comes to the realization, if this fire, which generally has a burning nature, is not igniting me completely and I'm not feeling the heat, yeah, it should be because of the power of Ram. But I feel it is only majorly because of the benevolence of Sita, because of Sita's mercy. Nunam Rama Prabhavena Vaidekya Sukritena cha. Only because of a Sukrita, meaning she feeling well for me, only because of that, I am not feeling the heat of this. Yeah, and then finally, Ramachandra, he gets the news from Hanuman. He gets the news from Hanuman that Sita is in the island and she's waiting for you. And then Rama, he proceeds towards the ocean. While he's proceeding towards the ocean, he's continuously thinking of Sita. He's in separation from Sita. He says, even as a cow who's affectionate towards her offspring, gushing forth milk due to their love, same way my heart is melting whenever I see that jewel, that Chudamani that Hanuman had given. He presses that Chudamani to his heart and he says this. And he says, even as a paddy field survives without water by getting wet from a neighboring paddy field underwater, I also survive. Because Hanuman was thinking in his mind, how is this Ram surviving? So he's telling Hanuman, I am also surviving because I'm hearing that she's surviving now. I had that hope that she'll still be surviving. That's why I was holding on to my life. And now that you're telling me she's surviving, just the thought of she's surviving is helping me to survive. Otherwise, I wouldn't be surviving, he tells. And finally, Ram comes, he wins the battle. And Hanuman, he goes and he relays the message to Sita. And that is when Sita says she will give protection to the demonesses. She doesn't harm the demonesses. So Sita is being brought in front. Now, Ramachandra, he doesn't say, if anyone is thinking that Ram told her to jump into fire, that is wrong. Ram doesn't say anything. He says you're free to go wherever you want. That's what he says. But Sita looks at Lakshmana. She looks at Lakshmana and she says, oh Lakshmana, create a pile of fire for me, which is a remedy for this disaster. Everyone is suspecting me. There is a suspicion. Ram says you can go wherever you want because you have lived in another man's place for so long. And even before he makes that statement, clearly Valmiki says that in his mind he thinks, how do I prove to the public? How do I prove to everybody that this Sita is beyond reproach? She is pure. Let me do this. So that is when he makes that statement, you're free to go wherever you want. And then Sita, she gets very angry and she looks at her Lakshmana and she tells, Lakshmana, please create a pile of fire. Why? Because again, the Acharyas explain that she had hurt Lakshmana so much when Lakshman refused to go in search of Ram, when Maricha had made cries of, hey Lakshmana, hey Sita. At that time, Lakshman refuses to go. That time she says something that was very hurting to Lakshman. She says, do you want to be with me? Is that why you're not going? Why does she say that? She said that only because if she says such a thing, Lakshmana will go. But still it was considered an aparad. So she tells that I burnt your mind by saying harsh words. So you create that fire. Let me pay back. I will get into fire. That way I will also prove my purity. So this is how they reconcile, the Acharyas. And then she tells, let the fire god protect me from all sides. And she enters the fire. As he offers this prayer, she enters the fire. And then she comes out clean, obviously, comes out like, because what can fire do to fire, right? So she comes out normally and everybody is very happy. And the demigods, they all appear in the sky and they reveal Ram's identity and Sita's identity. And they say, you're Vishnu and Lakshmi. Come on, enough of this drama, please come back. But how did she come out? It's very beautifully described in Ramayana. It says, bearing in his arms youthful Sita, who was shining brightly like the rising sun, decked with ornaments of refined gold in a red-colored robe with curly hair and wearing flowers and ornaments. She was coming out of the fire and she looked the same. There was no difference. Like how she went in, she came out and she was given back to Lord Ram. Again, the commentaries say that it was Maya Sita who was returned at this point in time. And Ram also testifies this. He says the statement, Neham marhati chaishwaryam Ravanantaha purashubha ananya hi maya Sita bhaskarena prabhayata. He says this auspicious woman I know very well. He says, I know very well. I also know Sita, the daughter of Janaka, never revolves her mind with anyone else. She has undivided attention only to me. Ravana cannot violate her chastity in any way. I know that very well. In order to convince the three worlds, I had to allow Sita to enter fire. When she said, light the fire, Rama could have stopped her, but he doesn't stop her. He says it's okay, and he just looks down. With his face cast downwards, Valmiki says, he just puts his head down because he doesn't want it to happen. But at the same time, he's thinking if it happens, it's okay, so that the world can know her purity, because nothing can happen to fire. He says, this auspicious woman cannot give way to the temptations of Ravana, in as much as Sita is non-different from me, even as sunlight is non-different from sun. The same words that Sita said, he also says, Bhaskarena Prabhayata. She is I am Bhaskara and she is Prabha. How can sunlight and sun be separated? I know fire cannot destroy fire. So then happens the Rama Pattabhisheka, where Ram gives a jewel to Sita, and just by the look of Ram, Sita gives a jewel to Ram. Ram gives a jewel to Sita, and then Sita understands that she has to give it to a person who is very close to her heart, and she gives it to her dear child, Hanuman, and Hanuman receives that pearl necklace. So I have a few points from Uttarakhand. I have only 10 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm in a very bad state today, but I'll finish this just for all the confusion to be cleared off from your mind about Mother Sita and why did Sita have to suffer, all that, all those questions, unanswered questions, quickly from the Uttarakanda of Valmiki. First of all, this Vipralambha rasa, we all know this from our own scriptures, Gaudiya scriptures, that Vipralambha is the highest relishable feeling between in the conjugal rasa, right? There is Sambhoga, there is Vipralambha. Now, Sita Rama, they were for each other, only one wife, right? Ramachandra had only one wife. He enjoyed both Sambhoga and Vipralambha with Sita Devi. That is one way of understanding why there was so much separation. Not only when Ravana kidnapped her and kept her for less than a year, not only at that time, but even after that, okay. And even after that, why did she have to be separated? Why did she have to go to Valmiki ashram and then have the children, Lavakusha there? So Vipralambha increases the love between two people. Second reason is Rama being the king, he had to choose between Raja Dharma and between his family, preference. He had to make a preference between family or the kingdom. Now, at this point in time, the brothers would not take up the kingdom. Rama could have said, okay, one of my brothers can be coronated, let them take the kingdom. But he could not do that. He could not do that. The main reason why he couldn't do that is because Lakshmana will never agree. He'll never agree to be the king in the presence of his brother. He always knew only Kainkarya, meaning only service. That's all. He was Sesha. He was only the servant. So he will never take up the kingdom. Bharata was already accused enough. So there is no way Bharata will take up the kingdom. And Shatrughna was always the servant of Bharata. So the only solution was Ram alone should have taken the kingdom. And Ram gave a promise to Bharata that he will come back after 14 years and take up the kingdom. Okay. So Ram had to be the king. Sumantara, he tells when Lakshmana leaves Sita in the forest near Valmiki's ashram, Sumantara says actually to Lakshmana saying that this was expected. I knew Sita and Ram will never be together because there was a curse by Bhrigu Rishi to the Supreme Lord Vishnu. I know that Rama is none other than Vishnu and this is none other than Lakshmi. And there was a curse by Bhrigu when Vishnu killed Kavya Mata, that is Bhrigu's wife. Bhrigu curses that you will be separated from your wife. And this was told by Durvasa to Dasharatha and me, and both of us know this. We knew this is going to happen. Sita herself asks Valmiki, "Oh sage Valmiki, why did this happen to me? Why did my husband leave me?" And the answer, you all will be surprised, Valmiki gives is, "Oh Sita, in a previous birth, you had fasted on a Dashami mixed with Ekadashi. That is the reason you have to be separated from your beloved in this life." Now you may question, oh, isn't Sita the eternal consort? Yes, she is the eternal consort. But sometimes a jiva can be empowered and that jiva merges. Like we see the case of Yashoda and Nanda, right? So we see that though they are eternal associates, because in their previous life they did some tapas and they requested for boons, that particular living entity merged with the original Nanda and Yashoda. Similar to that, it is understood that that particular living entity who merged with the original Sita, who had fasted on Dasami mixed with Ekadashi. This was spoken by Valmiki. Then in Padma Purana, the story, this is also quoted in Haribhakti Vilas, all of these reasons. The story of the two birds, you might have heard this, that Sita, she separated two birds and then the male bird went and died. When the girl was pregnant, when the girl bird was pregnant, they were separated and the male bird goes and dies, suicides in the ocean. And he comes back as the fisherman, as the washerman who criticizes Sita. And more than anything, forget all these Puranic reasons, more than anything, Sita raised her children very nicely. She never taught her children that, oh, Ram is dad. She always taught her children to have respect on Lord Ram. As much as Lord Ram was the king, Sita was also the queen and she had equal responsibilities. If the king has a responsibility, the queen also has responsibilities. Leadership means it's not about just one's own comforts. It is also taking discomforts for the pleasure of others. That is a good leader. A good leader should not be thinking only about his preferences. right? He'll also worry about the preferences of the people around him. To set a good example, both of them mutually agreed to be separated as a part of the Leela that they were performing. So these are some reconciliation points from Uttarakanda and other scriptures for those who have unanswered questions about Rama and Sita. I have only 3 minutes. I'm so sorry. Today has been a very difficult day and I went over time as well. If you have any quick questions, we can take one question, or if there is something else, just let me know. If you can even message me, I will answer.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the very beautiful class. So I know you are having busy schedule today. So if any question is there, we can take one question. After that, we can close the call. Dear devotees, if anybody have one question.
I think we are good. We are good.
You're good? Okay, okay. Mataji, thank you so much. Especially the last slide that you have shared is wonderful, because many have that doubt why Sita needs to suffer so much, and so many reasons you have quoted. Thank you so much, Mataji, and very beautiful narration. So nice pastime, Mataji. It was really seeing movie in front of us. So sweet, as always. So we'll open the forum for the question and answers. Is there anybody having any questions or realization?
Rama. Have you seen, what is that? Some shloka. There was an interesting shloka that was in WhatsApp, and they some intelligent person had their own commentary on that verse also. It was circulating in WhatsApp. Hey Nath, hey Pati. No, she calls him Raghav. Ram. So we have such a different impression of Sita that has to be thoroughly cleaned up. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Thanks for adding that. So, I mean, again, it's not against the, I'm not trying to say against the Dharma Shastras that hereafter everyone should address the husband by the name. That's not the point here. But we are trying to glorify Sita in terms of her character. The strength of character is what I'm trying to. And moreover, she's reciting the names of the Lord. So that is another explanation why she has the authority to call him by name.
Now we have Shreya and Srihari. Please go ahead.
Mataji was so nice, Mataji.
Or the other. But if this part of Mother Sita is seen, it is it will really bring a lot of positive change in many people around. So
Correct.
thank you so much, Mataji, for I always wait for this class of yours. I remember a few years back we had discussed, and that time the way you had told about Mother Sita was such a big reminder for me, where we never look at this in such a way, right? It's always the different way which is given through these scriptures. Or else rather what I feel is, how the narrator is narrating it or how it is portrayed, that is the way we perceive it.
Correct.
Right? So, and I really feel there's nobody else who can explain this more than you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, Mataji, I should thank you, because you were the one who kept telling me to do this, and it's been 3 years and I've not been doing the class, and finally today somehow, in spite of all the disturbances, we were able to do the class. Thank you, Mataji, for being with me.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hari Bol.
Is there anybody more questions for Mataji? Okay, if there are no more questions, we can end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to Preethi Vilasini Mataji and all the assembled devotees on the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Her Grace Preethi Vilasini Mataji ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for such a beautiful class. Hari Bol.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hari
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Gauranga, Nityananda.
Hare Krishna.
Gauranga Nityananda.
Gauranga.
Gauranga, Nityananda.
Jai, jai,
Gauranga, Nityananda.
Nityananda.
Jai,
Hari
Jai
Bol.
Shri
Closing the
Ram.
call. Hari Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Thank you so
Hari
much,
Bol.
Vinitha Mataji. Thank you, Preethi Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hari
Hari
Krishna.
Bol.
Hari Bol. Sorry, I had to close.